sound. So, this week I'm just talking a little bit about what is creativity and what creativity means for you and how you can invite in more creativity in your life. So, first of all, I just would like to say that being creative is not having a particular set of skills. Being creative is actually a state of being. If you have decided that you're not very creative, as Henry Ford said, if you think you're not creative, for example, then you won't be creative. You've already shut your mind down to possibility, right? Every time we decide and label ourselves in that way, we have shut down possibility. Okay, so, complete self-sabotage. So if you think, well, I used to be creative, or, creative is not just about painting, it's not just about cooking, even, or it's not just about making a beautiful garden. Everything is in creation in every moment. If you don't think you're creative, then I'd like to ask you, which part of you do you think is not creative? Is it the part of you that has to have everything planned out to a T, everything in your life, every day, your schedule is like a military operation, which might make you feel quite safe. But then what about when one little thing changes in that schedule? It completely throws you off kilter, right? You suddenly panic, you get stressed because your whole routine's gone out the window. Now, if you allow yourself to be more flexible, and if you don't have if you allow in a bit more give, you allow in a bit more give in everything you're doing in your life, you allow in for the possibility of something being a different way, that is being creative. When we drop out of here into our bodies and we allow our bodies to support us, when we're in our bodies, we can find calm. Yep, we find it through our breath, we find it through our grounding, we tap into our parasympathetic because our nervous system connects our mind and our body. And so when we are in our bodies, we are feeling more connected. Our nervous system is calm, we are feeling more supported, and possibly we are feeling just a little bit more sure of ourselves. We're more confident. We have that presence, right? When we're properly in our bodies, experiencing embodiment, which is, now the latest buzzword with somatics. So that means, when we're in our bodies to support us, we have that grounded confidence. We're also connected to our hearts so that we're kinder to ourselves. Okay, I've talked about our heart a lot as well. We're more kind to ourselves. And then when we're kind to ourselves, we lose that judgment. We release our judgment about what, for a start, is being creative. We release our judgment about how we do things, whether they're right or wrong. We suspend disbelief, because actually that is also just a construct of our minds, us deciding to disbelieve. We allow in possibility. And when we allow this in, it means that we are allowing in spontaneity. When we're being more spontaneous, and one of the easiest way to be able to manifest this, if you like, to create this, is just to allow ourselves to move more spontaneously. This immediately, in hundreds of milliseconds, this information of the way we're moving travels up into our brain. Our neural networks grow. We become more adaptable. We become more flexible. Our bodies become more flexible from movement. which in turn makes our neural networks more flexible. It makes us more uh, more spontaneous, more flexible, more resilient, so that if our routine is suddenly upset, our normal routine, it's okay. We find a different way. We find a new way to navigate the situation rather than being completely thrown off kilter. We might get thrown, but then we'll just adapt. We'll move into a new position to support that situation. And so by having more flexibility of mind, we can deal with situations more creatively. And that's just one aspect of being creative. Yes, there are ways we can just brainstorm and get really creative with ideas, but ideas still need to be fleshed out. Ideas still need to be acted upon. Ideas can't just stay as ideas on paper and in our minds. We still have to live and breathe them. Even when we read a book, which is technically language and words, when we really get into any book, especially novels, we feel, we sense, we see, we hear the sounds, we smell the smells, we experience what that writer is trying to convey to us. So it's a somatic experience. When we read a good novel, it's a somatic experience. Poetry, music, all of those arts, we experience them through our whole body. And so when we want to create as well, when we create from the supported groundedness of our body, we have what you might call, we feel more calm, we feel more regulated, we feel more courageous. And that means we can be more courageous with what we do, and we can extract bigger ideas. We can try things in a new way because we know if it doesn't quite work out, it doesn't matter. We can go a different direction. It'll work out in another way. Also, we get more courageous within ourselves, so that, for example, we don't feel so fearful of what other people might think. We're more in touch in our hearts, which means we're kinder to ourselves, which means that we will forgive ourselves for doing something that perhaps we're not sure about. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? And if we see everything through this lens of being more connected to ourselves, we also know that actually, why shouldn't we have that opinion? Why can't we do things in that way? Why do we have to do what's always been done the normal way? Why can't we challenge things and shake things up a bit? So that's why, if you don't feel creative, one of the easiest, most direct ways you can come back into a more creative way of being is to be in your whole body. You can't think your way through creativity. I've been talking about this week. You have to experience it in your body. And when you drop out of your sympathetic into your parasympathetic and you allow your default brain network to kick in, suddenly it's like there's this breathing space of allowing. It's like we literally expand our body space, we expand our thinking space, we expand our personal space, because our ideas and our creativity needs that space to breathe. So that's just a very quick, brief overview of why creativity is not just in here, it's not just a skill set, it's a way of being that can support you to do great things. When you feel confident to do something more creative, that grows and grows. It's like a ripple effect. You create something that is more out there, next time you go further, because also your comfort zone expands. What feels comfortable, what feels safe in your body, you get used to it the more you do something that's a bit different. Just like if you start to learn a new skill, or you learn a new way of being. At first, it feels uncomfortable, but then after some time, it doesn't feel uncomfortable anymore. So, if you'd like to learn, if you'd like to learn some creative ways to use your voice, then DM me for the playful power reset that I've created. I'm holding a masterclass soon on reclaiming your creative freedom, which where we really drop into our bodies, we have some fun. I invite you and guide you into how you can feel more creative in your body. Think about it. When you sort of take a different route home from your workplace or whatever, wherever you're going, something shifts within you. You are exposed to new sights and sounds, and new ideas come because you're being challenged in new ways. Just like when you're stimulated when you go traveling, everything is new. Sometimes when your best ideas come when you're on holiday, or they say when you're in the shower, which is actually quite a somatic experience because you're experiencing feeling the warmth and the water, or the cold and the water through your whole body, and it stimulates all your sensory nerves and endings, which is why you might get the best ideas. Somatic creativity. So yes, DM me for the link for a masterclass coming soon. You can just comment masterclass, comment anything that's come up for you about this. Where do you feel creatively challenged? Where do you feel you would like to have more creativity? What does creativity mean for you? And yeah, anything that's come up for you relating to how you feel about your creativity, I'd love to hear. Just drop a comment below. And thanks for listening in, and see you